Hey y'all, it's Chef Hunty, and thank you for tuning in to this special edition episode, Valentine's Day Dinner for Two. This recipe is going to be really easy for, I know some people have school, some people have work, and for all you lovers out there, this is going to be a super easy recipe for y'all to enjoy y'all's Valentine's Day. It requires a small amount of ingredients and really a small amount of effort. And of course, if you don't like some of the ingredients for this dinner, you can always swap them out for different ones that you'll like. Let's go ahead and get to the list of ingredients so we can get started. For this recipe, you'll need some baby potatoes, asparagus, salmon, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and some olive oil. So the first thing we're going to start on is our asparagus. And all you need to do for your asparagus is cut the little end off, about this much. It depends on how yours looks. Then you're just going to place it in a cookie sheet, on one side of the cookie sheet. So I'm back and I've chopped all the little nubs off of my asparagus. And so I told y'all to put all the asparagus on one side because I thought I could fit our potatoes and the asparagus in one thing, but this is actually a lot of asparagus, more than I thought it was. So we're going to have to do another cookie sheet, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry for that noise, y'all. My oven does that when it's preheating. I have no idea why. So basically, what you're going to do is you're just going to take your baby potato and just cut it in half. Probably just cut it again. Kind of into just bite-sized pieces, just because it'll take longer to cook if you do it like this. And I mean, you're going to have to cut it anyways to fit it in your mouth. So you might as well just do it ahead of time. But anyways, you're just going to cut all your potatoes up. And then I'll be back in a minute for your next step. So now that all my potatoes are going to cut up, I'm going to go ahead and load them back in the bowl. Because we're going to have to use the bowl to coat them in our olive oil. Oh! So, here's my bowl. First, what I'm going to do is take off all the stuff on my hands so that I get dirty. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pepper and get some pepper in here. Take some salt. And then I'm going to take some garlic powder. That's a half a teaspoon is what this little scoop thing is. And I'm going to set these aside because once you get your hands dirty, it's going to be hard to do everything. And then with my asparagus, I'm going to put some pepper on them as well. Some salt. And then you're going to take probably another half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Just sprinkle it over. Oh. Okay. Then next, you're going to take some olive oil. Just kind of eyeball it. And drizzle it over. You don't want to do too much because you don't want it to be super greasy. And go ahead and dump some in your potatoes too, just because you don't want to pick up this bottle with oily hands. And then you're just going to spread all your spices around and all your olive oil around. Make sure everything is nicely coated with olive oil and spices. Okay, looks good. Then you're going to take your taters and do the same thing. Just get them nice and coated. I have my oven preheated to 400, and these will probably take about 25 to 30 minutes to cook. So I'll be back in a minute and I'll show you our next step. So now that our veggies are in the oven, it's time to bring in our salmon to the game. And what you're going to do is just take a paper towel and pat these dry, because you don't want wet salmon. It'll cook better if it's dry. And what you're going to do in your pan is you're just going to take a little bit of olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom. And just set this back here. And to season these, I'm just going to do some pepper. And this salmon still has the skin on the back, so I'm not going to bother seasoning the back. Put some salt on there. And since your salmon's probably only going to take like 7 to 8 minutes to cook, I'm going to wait till I have about 10 minutes left on my veggies, and then we'll start working on this salmon. So now that my pan is heated up and my olive oil's kind of hot, what you're going to do first is place your salmon skin side down. You see that skin? You're going to put that down. And let it cook for as long as possible on the skin. And I have my thing about on medium-high heat. And you got to be careful with salmon, because salmon, it's pink now, but it stays pink after it's cooked. So you got to be careful, like not to burn it, because you don't want it to be tough, but you also don't want to eat raw salmon. So it can be a little tricky, but I'll show you what to look for next. If you see that little color change from, it's like whitish right there, and then like this raw part up top, you're going to flip your salmon when it's about like this, about a third of the way up the side of the salmon, because you want to cook it as much as possible on the skin part, because you're not going to be eating that. And then you're just going to take that and flip it over and let it cook for a little longer, and you're just going to watch the sides. So my salmon is done, my veggies are done. So now I'm just going to plate it. Put some salmon on, asparagus on this plate. Some here. There's a plate right here under the camera that you can't see. This is going to be so good, y'all. And then next you're just going to take some of your taters. Plate them. And now it's time for the taste test. So my food is done. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste test, but y'all know me. I love food and I'm absolutely starving. And I didn't feel like setting my tripod up the way it was on the floor, so I'm gonna just go ahead and give this a little taste test. Try my potatoes. Delicious, absolutely amazing. Try my salmon. Delicious. And I would normally sprinkle some lemon on this, but I didn't have any on hand. So now I'm gonna try my asparagus. Asparagus is one of my favorite vegetables besides Brussels sprouts. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite vegetable is. Perfect. It's so good, y'all. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Valentine's Day edition episode. And let me know if you make this or a variation of this. And take a picture of it, send it to me on any of my social media. And I hope you and your significant other have a great Valentine's Day, and I'll see you again next time. Bye, y'all.